Hi, my name's AD. This is my garage. This is my driveway. This thing's petrol right now for some reason. Hopefully I haven't got a leak. And this is part 3. As the saying goes, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Bit of an update, and I've decided to change it up because this has been annoying me for a long while. So for the past week I've been trying to make up a lever system that works with the original cables, which I've chopped to crap, and the original lever extended to get this carb, which is a double, it's a double choke, twin choke rubber, but it's got 2 stages. The arm on this moves nearly twice the distance of the original arm, so I tried to go basic with it and just double the length of the original multiplier arm to get the extra throw. It's not working. Every time I get close, and I think I'm getting somewhere, it goes backwards. Yeah, I've been faffing around with this for about a week of evenings now, welding bits on, cutting bits off, remeasuring, re-drilling and whatnot. And yeah, I've kind of gone down the thought process of why am I reinventing the wheel. So in this car, in the Renault 8S, there was a model that came with a Weber twin choke, which works with all the standard arms, and I've managed to find one. Brian Whiteside, who supplied me with my old engine there, and some of the gearbox bits I needed for this, has a 8S/Caravel carb in stock. So I've purchased that. That should be here in the week. I think I'm actually going to have to re-drill the manifold again. Again, not a problem. What I'll do is I'll drill it through, tap it out to M12 possibly. I think I've got some, there we go. I'll thread that up to 12 now, put it all back in there, then re-drill it to suit the newer carb. I say newer, the other carb, which should then allow me to use the standard lever. What I'm going to do is just disc this old extension back off. Hopefully that comes with a bracket as well that the arm bolts to. Yeah, so for that part I have chopped up the cable down now. The cable on there was probably one of the original ones. I'm not sure if it's ever snapped. It was a bit stiff and whatnot. So what I've done is I've ordered myself another cable. This came from Arnold Ventu Pieces, I think they're called, specific for this car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the car up in the air, get that fitted, in anticipation of the other carb coming. I've also got myself a new front batch, so I'm going to fit that as well, because my one on here is cracked in half. So whilst I was ordering parts from France, I ordered one of those too. Right, let's get the car in the So that was a bit of a griller. Running the new cable in. It is now all the way up here. I'm going to put the car back down. I'm going to leave the under tray off now just in case I've done something silly or wrong, and I can revisit it at a later date. I've actually got both the under trays to go back on. But for now, I'm going to take that part off the old cable, fit it on the new cable, and it should be ready to go. So where are we at to? Right, I haven't got the new carb yet, but I might as well rip all this back out now. To have petrol flowing about there. Just tap that up Right, so this is actually only loosely fitted, as you can see, while I've been testing. It's a shame, it's meant to be a decent carb. But I haven't seen anyone complain that they're lacking power with the Renault 8S Weber. Not that dissimilar to this. All I know, or all I've been told so far, shall we say, is that it works fine with the standard cable and pulley setup. Which is what we want really, because we're going to get this up and running and drivable. Once it's up and running and actually drivable and silenced a bit, once I make an exhaust, I can at least then run it up and make sure it's okay. It's all well and good just sitting here a little bit, but you don't know until we're driving around as to how healthy the actual engine is. It seems okay, came from a running car. There you go, there's the inlet. Now, as you may remember, and you can see, so I actually re-drilled this inlet for that Weber I've just taken off. I actually think if I'd gone down that route in the first place, it would have bolted up to the original holes, which I now have to drill out again to make it, get it ready for that Weber. I'm not going to do it just yet, just in case, on the off chance that these holes that I've put in it fit it. But I'm pretty sure that the Weber I've bought is actually meant for this manifold that I adapted for the wrong Weber, which I'm now going to have to convert back, which is a little bit of a pain in the ass. But we'll get it done. But we'll do it once we get the carb here, just so I can double and triple check that it's meant to be happening. What I might do is, whilst it's here, is just lob this piece off. This is part of the old heating bit, or heat transfer from the old manifold. It's kind of in my way at the moment. Well, it's not in my way, it just looks a bit ugly. I'm going to just slice it off and run a flat wheel on it maybe. But yeah, I think that's me stopped for today. And then yeah, I might take up some measurements ready for the exhaust, order some bits for that. But yeah, so far so good. Taking a little bit longer than I expected, but we're getting there. I've also got to put a panel on this side. Can't fit the one on that side because of the exhaust, but if I can put one of the two panels in, that'll be a benefit I think going forward. But yeah, anyway, on to the next job. So I'm sat here thinking, Jesus Christ, it smells of petrol. And I'm looking down there. I'm not sure if you can see that dripping. That's not fucking good. And yesterday I had an accident. I slipped with a drill. We're trying to cut this hole out here, and I mangled my finger up and didn't think much of it. When I slipped, the bottoms fall forward, and I think I'm gonna have to remove this panel, and when I do, I'm gonna find a hole in the fucking petrol tank. Not ideal at all. In fact, I'm quite annoyed about it. But yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. Fuck's sake. So, we fucked up. Well, I did. So yesterday, I think I've shown you already, I mangled my finger on a drill bit, and it turns out I've actually pierced the fuel tank. It's a tiny mark in it, which is enough for the petrol to come out of. So what I'm going to do is a repair next best thing would be to remove the fuel tank completely, but that requires me to remove the engine and the gearbox by the looks of it. So if I can repair it in situ, that'd be good. If I take it out, I don't want to put one back in the same place. I want to put one in the front, but that was a future state thing. So yeah, we're going to go for a repair on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack the one side of the car up to this side, so it leans like that. Hopefully it's going to mean all the petrol goes to the other end. I'm going to clean up where the little mark is, and it is, I can barely feel it with my finger. And then I'm going to rough it all up. I'm going to JB weld it, and then I'm going to use a bit of a can to stick over the top of it. I think I've got a spare Guinness can somewhere. So yeah, wish me luck with this one. It may work, it may not. I may need to leave it a day or two to make sure that it's leaked enough petrol to stop actually coming through. But yeah, best get it up in the air and see where we get to. Fuck's sake. Alright, back again. We're going to get under, see if we can clean it up, make sure it's stopped leaking. We've drained all the fuel out. It's not picking up anymore, which should hopefully be enough for me to be able to clean the surface off, and all being well, weld it up. The JB weld, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my phone underneath so I can get a bit of footage for you. Right. Video mode. And that tiny mark there, which is where the tip of the drill bit kissed it, is where the fuel tank's leaking. You can see I've cleaned it all up around there already. Well, I say I have. The petrol's done a really good job. Next to nothing is there. So I'm going to rub it with some sandpaper just to give it, key up the surface a little bit, and then hopefully seal it back up, give it 24 hours and put some petrol back in and see what happens. Fingers crossed that sorts it, because otherwise we're into a few extra hours of work removing everything just to get the tank out. But yeah, that's the next one. Let's give it a clean now. So here we have it, another case of I fucked up. That's fugged, not the other word for YouTube. Right, so you may remember that I adapted the manifold to accept the Renault 5 Weber. I had to re-drill it and everything because the base plate was slightly off. Can't get that working for love nor money. So I bought a Renault 8 S carb, which is a Weber from the start. I should have probably thought about this when I actually went. There's a slight difference in the manifold fitment. Anyway, so we've got the base plate off this Weber, and you guessed right, it was as it was. So I've started knocking out some of the old inserts that I've made best I can. What we're going to do now is to salvage it and put it back to the old bolt pattern that was there, is to now drill them out, and I'm going to drill them out to like a 10.2, tap them out to M12. Then I'm going to have to cut some M12 aluminium bar, which I think I've got in the drawer. There you go, got some M12mm aluminium bar, which I'll then tap to M12, insert down the holes that I've then drilled with some Loctite. Then I'm going to re-drill everything again for M8 this time, because that's what these are, to then bolt this Weber back down, which comes with this base plate and the arm and the linkage, which should then allow me to mate it up to my new cable that's on the 8, and all should work like factory, because it's a factory option, or it's a factory Renault 8 engine, shall I say. Even that doesn't sound right, does it? It's a factory setup from the Renault 8S, which had an 1100 engine, but this carb on it. This carb can also be rejetted to suit, so if it's running a little bit lean for the 1397 in the future, once we actually get it up and running, it should be good. But it's pouring rain. I've got my little torch out there. I want to crack on a little bit because I don't like just leaving it in the air. you know, if I can get an hour in every day, that'd be really, really good. But yeah, I'd like to plod along. So even though it's raining, I'm going to start working on the carb side of things. You'll notice the car's still up in the air. I haven't actually checked to make sure that the fuel tank repairs have worked. It's wet, I don't want to lie down basically, so I'll probably check that in the next day or two. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in there and I'm going to start drilling and adapting that manifold back to its original setup so I can fit the Renault 8S Weber. I think we are where we needed to be about a week ago now. We've got the back panel back in, the fuel tank isn't leaking, the fuel that I took out is back in, all the pipework for the water's back on. We've now got the addition of the Renault 8S carb. Excuse the mess in there, there's a lot of aluminium dust where I've been working. I need to clean it all out and on the floor. We've got a new cable in there. I've extended it as well so it meets this, because we were, well, what's that, 4 inches short. And yeah, I think we're where we needed to be. I've got a panel on this side to go, and then I've got to build the exhaust for it, and in amongst all my crap I've got back box I want to use, all the silencer I want to use as a back box. I've got a couple of bits of stainless, got a meter straight in there, and got another U-bend somewhere, and I think I've got enough to make it up. I've also got the V-band clamp at the bottom of the manifold. I'll tidy that up and I can tack things together there. But yeah, I think we're good for a potential exhaust fit and test drive, hopefully within the next week. Right, where are we up to? Rear panel's in, front panel in. Yeah, we wrapped up all that. So today and over the weekend, my job is to at least tack together the exhaust and get that hung under the back there, so I can eventually start actually running it and idling without it making people's ears bleed. So yeah, that's what we're on to. I've got a few bits and bobs. I need to chop them up with the angle grinder and go to work on it. I need to get the car up in the air a little bit, so what I'm going to do is roll it forward onto the ramps, hopefully, or backwards. just so I can get a little bit of height, then I can balance the box where it needs to be and start marking up and cutting. But yeah, it's probably going to be a fair few hours for me and a few minutes tops for you. It's cold, it's dark, it's wet. This is England, which hasn't actually been this wet this year, but anyway, not sure what you can see, so let's get this on. What we're doing is we're just wrapping up the exhaust. I'm putting some clamps on it. I'm going to drop the whole lot off, put one clamp on the left hand side, and then really we're actually ready for a first test of fire. I do want to take it off and put some exhaust wrap on there, but I am quite eager to see what it sounds like. So that's what I'm currently working on. I'm just going to drop it off now and yeah, see where we get to. I am recording, hopefully you can see it. So much nicer. There we go. First start up with the exhaust on. That's really quite quiet. A few rattles, there's probably a few things loose in there. Anti-idling pretty well considering we've not set the timing at all. I'm not doing anything with the carb, I've just slapped it on. I put a cable tie around the choke there. running a bit lumpy, but again the timing's out. Spark plugs are still the ones that are in there. I've nipped them up again because I did have them loose. I've got a full set of spark plugs over the back here, ready to go in. Not sure what that squeaking is, but we're on to a winner. Right. Do you know what, guys? I'm flipping happy with that. Very happy with that. It's late-ish, can't really carry on with it tonight. If the weather holds off tomorrow, I can set the timing and everything on it nicely, and hopefully see if we can go for a quick test drive. I've got a few bits to sort out. There's the under panel that I need to put on the one side. I need to get under the car to do that. We'll keep it up in the air. But yeah, that's actually very quiet. Right, it's early morning. It's, well, I say early morning, it's actually about 8:30, a bit too early to get noisy. I like to do things after 9 o'clock in my estate. You know, I don't want to upset everybody. We're currently getting battered by a storm of some description, but I'm adamant I want to test drive the car by the end of today. So I've got a few little jobs I want to do. Just to wrap up, I'm going to be getting very wet whilst I do it. But I am going to try and crack on. Fingers crossed, if only brief, by the end of this you should see a quick test drive video. But I'm going to get my waterproof jacket on as well. I think it even fits over the jacket I'm currently wearing because it's quite cold, and we're going to crack on. First step, I'm going to drop the exhaust back off, put some exhaust wrap on it. Not sure if you can see the lights flickering there. We keep having power cuts as well. But yeah, I'm going to crack on and do that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if only brief, the car should move under its own power. You know what, guys? I think, and I really hope it's about ready for a test drive. You are just balanced on the seat. Let's see if we can get it started. And we go around the block. Brakes are still there. We've got the choke on, literally with a bit of a cable tie. It's pouring with rain. Put the fan on. Pulled up the drive. I'm going to actually see if I can get a cloth to wipe this window. Back into excuse the hair. Yeah, boy. Scuff the brakes up. Well, it works. Clutch point, biting point needs some getting used to, I guess. But it's very eager. Fucking hell. Compared to what this had, bearing in mind it's not set up yet, for a quick poke, this really wants to go. Oh, wow. Sounds lovely as well. Oh, he fell over. Back again, I hope. That is really eager to go. Oh, it's got this thing called torque, which I think I'm feeling. I've not felt in this car before. And yeah, we're only in second gear. We've got next to no petrol in it. Just wanted to prove that it didn't drive. And the brakes and everything still work, and the clutch works, and the throttle works, and yeah, it's not the best conditions for it. Car's steamed up, it's pouring with rain outside, but yeah, I'm fucking happy with that. Really, really happy. Might even get to use it a bit before the end of the year. Right, I'm going to park it up. I think for me that's probably the end of it. It needs a service and stuff. You don't need to see how to service a car. I'm sure you're all adept at that. But yeah, oil filters. Set the time in. I'll give it some test miles. Scrape. And then I best get it on a dyno, I guess. Make sure that it actually runs okay. It's not trying to kill itself. It's not running like majorly lean. And see what power we get, I guess. But yeah, I think that's next for this is put some miles on it, get it on dyno, and see where we're at. Not sure how much you can hear. Sounds good to me. Oh.
happy with that. We have now got a 1397cc powered Renault 8 Major, so it's an 1132, not a Gordini, but hopefully if it's got about 60 horsepower now, it's a lot more than it had. Chunk more torque, it seems to be very eager to go. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, on to the finer things. That's going to wrap up the video for me. Next one should be a bit of driving, I guess, and we'll get it on dyno and see what it actually does. I think the engine's quoted at 67 horsepower, but with that it did used to run Renix. I've actually downgraded it, I guess, to points. We're running on a carb for an engine that's smaller than this, so we have got a 4 branch on there and the nice fruity exhaust. But yeah, let's see how we end up. Like and subscribe, that'd be great, and hope you can join me on the next video. Thanks.